Hello friends! In this video you'll see how the actors of the movie Enter the Dragon changed. You'll know their real names and age. I will show you how they looked then in 1973 and what's with them now in 2022. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Let's go! Roper is a fairly wealthy person who has a weakness for gambling, but doesn't always know how to stop in time. He knows how to fight well and was one of the invited fighters to the tournament hand, played by John Saxon, who died in 2020 of pneumonia. Williams is well versed in fighting techniques and is a rather reserved person who will not use his skills unless absolutely necessary. Has a lush African-American hairstyle. The role is performed by Jim Kelly, who passed away from cancer in 2013. Tanya works for Han and at the time of the tournament organized a meeting of fighters. She looks spectacular and knows how to behave politely and tactfully. The role is performed by Ahna Capri, who died in 2010 following the effects of a car accident. Han served in the Shaolin monastery in the past, but violated his precepts and became involved in illegal business, including drugs. Has a prosthetic arm that can turn into a deadly weapon, played by Qian Shi, who died of kidney failure in 2009. O'Hara is Han's personal bodyguard. He is not compassionate and clearly follows the instructions given by the boss. Skillfully owns martial arts and is characterized as a hardy and a strong fighter. Has a scar on his face. The role was played by Robert Wall. Sue Lin is Lee's sister. She had good fighting skills and, if necessary, could repulse the offender or even resist the gang, disorienting him for a while. She committed suicide so as not to fall into the hands of Han's people. She was portrayed by Angela Mao. Secretary works for Mr. Roper and often accompanies him to meetings not only within the office, but also attends golf games. She is a polite girl who is a good specialist and behaves confidently. Likes to wear rings. The role is performed by Marlene Clark. Hood works for Freddy and his main task is to knock out large sums from debtors. He is a self-confident type who is not used to ranking, but speaks clearly to the point. He wears a mustache and has a dimple in his chin. The role is performed by Pat Johnson. Shaolin Abbott is Lee's teacher, who is at the head of the monastery. He is endowed with deep wisdom, honors the covenants, and it's important for him to defend the honor of their monastery, played by Roy Chiao, who died of a heart condition in 1999. Lee is a resident of the Shaolin monastery, where he serves as a mentor. He has a lean but toned, well-trained physique and is also a skilled fighter. Not used to putting things off until later, played by Bruce Lee, who died in 1973 from cerebral edema. Tournament fighter was one of those trained in the fighting school on Han Island. He has perseverance and did not miss a single workout, able to respond quickly to given instructions, played by Qin Ying Lam, who passed away in 1997 from a liver tumor. Hood is one of Freddy's people who is often sent to collect a debt and also be the person, thus teaching a lesson for the future. Usually doesn't work alone, but performs the task as part of a team of 3 people. The role is performed by Darnell Garcia. Thug in prison, Jackie Chan, is one of Han's people who is in charge of guarding his illegal activities. He is not used to retreating or fleeing and may well come to the aid of colleagues. Possesses good martial arts skills, but not enough compared to Lee. Tournament fighter Tony Liu is distinguished by focus and good fighting technique. He can make fast and fairly strong blows, not only with his hands, but also with his feet. He dresses exclusively and required by the rules of the competition, namely in Kikogi. Sheep's Mate works on a ship that carries out various kinds of crossings, including to Han Island. He clearly knows his duties and how to behave on the water. Doesn't dare to argue with the passengers, even if they act too rudely with him. Played by Hoi Man. O'Hara's crew was trained at the Han Martial Arts School and also takes part in competitions organized by him. He is used to following discipline, knows how to maintain maximum concentration, and has well-placed fighting techniques. He was played by Wilson Tong. Lao, Lee's student, is one of the inhabitants of the Shaolin Monastery where he learns martial arts. He is still very inexperienced and often makes emotionless strikes in training, for which he not infrequently receives a scolding from a mentor. Played by Wei Tang. Han Traitor was stationed permanently on the secluded Han Island and served as a guard patrolling the palace grounds. He possesses some fighting techniques and wears nunchucks with him on duty, although he doesn't know them well enough. Played by Ming Tsai Wu. Tournament fighter, who was lucky enough to be among the other participants in the competition, which is organized by Han every 3 years. He sufficiently knows the technique of combat and the correctness of striking. The role is performed by Yeung. Guard is subordinate to Han, doing the work that he is assigned. In addition to acting as a security guard, he also took part in the competitions themselves and was one of the students of his boss' fighting school. Differs in devotion. He was played by Boon Yan. Party guest, who was invited to Han Island on the day the fighters arrived. She's a pretty girl with blonde curly hair and a slender figure, which she knows how to successfully emphasize with clothes. The role of party guest was played by Linda Lee Cadwell. Bolo is one of Han's bodyguards and is also a participant in his tournament. It's distinguished by strong and cruel fighting techniques, which, on the command of Han, can kill a person. Has a powerful physique, but not too pumped. He was played by Bolo Yeung. Shaolin fighter Samo Kam-Bo lives in a monastery and practices martial arts. He has trained with Lee more than once, but in skill he is significantly inferior to him. He has a slightly corpulent physique, but is quite agile and able to do backflips. Han Traitor completes Han's assignment and makes regular bypass around the boss area. At work he can be seen wearing a beach kikagi with a chest patch on the left side, unable to repel an attack from a more skilled fighter. The role is performed by Chung. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please share it on social networks, like it, and of course subscribe to the channel.